Story 1. The Girl in the Tunnel. I was 17 when my friends dared me to walk through the abandoned train tunnel on the edge of our town. They said it was haunted by the girl who never made it home. Everyone in our school knew the legend. A girl disappeared there after prom night. Her car broke down near the tunnel. They said if you walk through alone at midnight, you'll hear footsteps that don't belong to you. I didn't believe it, but that night, flashlight in hand, I wanted to prove them wrong. The tunnel was colder than it should have been. My breath fogged up. Each step echoed like someone walking right behind me. But when I stopped, the sound stopped too. The air smelled like wet iron. My light flickered, and I saw writing on the wall. "Turn around." I laughed nervously. "Nice try, guys." Then my phone buzzed. It was a message from Mark, one of the friends who dared me. It said, "We're at the entrance waiting for you. Where are you?" But I had just entered the tunnel. Something shuffled behind me. The sound of heels. Slow. Dragging. Tap. Drag. Tap. Drag. I turned my flashlight around and froze. A girl stood halfway down the tunnel. Her prom dress was torn. Her neck bent slightly wrong. And she was smiling. I stepped back. It's just someone messing with me. But then I noticed her feet weren't touching the ground. The light flickered again. She was closer now. The smell of iron grew stronger, like fresh blood. I ran. Every sound, every echo followed me until I burst out into the night air. My friends were waiting by the car, laughing. I looked back at the tunnel, dark, silent. Then I noticed something on my shoulder. A faint red handprint, wet, smelling like rust. That tunnel was sealed by police the next week. Someone found a torn prom shoe near the entrance, size 6, just like hers. Story 2. The Statue That Blinked. My cousin Mia worked night security at a small museum outside Manila. She said it was easy money, just watch the cameras, do a few rounds, and lock up at sunrise. One night, she noticed something odd. The marble statue in the hallway, the one of the weeping angel, was facing a different direction. She thought maybe someone moved it for cleaning. She checked the cameras. No one had entered that corridor for hours. Then she saw it on the feed between 2 and 2:01 a.m. The statue's head turned slowly toward the lens. She rewound, played it again. The statue's face had changed. Its eyes now slightly open. That's when her radio crackled. "Mia? Are you in the West Corridor? Mia? Are you in the West Corridor?" "No, I'm in the office." "Why?" "Then, who's standing by the angel?" Mia froze. She pulled up the live feed, and there it was. A tall shadow standing behind the statue. The lights flickered. When they came back on, the shadow was gone, and the statue's mouth was open. The next morning, her supervisor found the office empty. The camera footage ended at 2:59 a.m., the moment the power failed. But one frame, half corrupted, remained. It showed the angel's face, tears of stone dust down its cheeks, and a faint reflection in its eyes. Someone looking terrified, frozen forever. Story 3. The Voice in the Well. In a small rural town, kids were told never to play near the old well behind the chapel. They said a woman once fell in and never climbed out. Now, she calls to anyone who listens. When my brother and I found it one summer afternoon, I leaned over and whispered, "Hello?" For a moment. Nothing. Then, a whisper came back. "Hello?" We laughed, thinking it was an echo, until it said, "I'm cold down here." My brother stepped closer. "Who's there?" No answer, just the sound of dripping water. He dropped a small stone. We waited for the splash, but there was none. Then, something threw the stone back up. It hit his shoe, wet. We ran home, terrified. But that night, we both woke up to the same thing. The sound of dripping water outside our window, and a voice whispering, "It's warmer up here." The next day, the well was sealed. But sometimes, when it rains hard enough, the villagers swear they hear faint knocking beneath the earth, like someone trying to climb out. Story 4. The Room That Wasn't There. I rented a cheap apartment downtown, old building. Good price. The landlord said the third floor was under renovation. But one night, I took the elevator, pressed 3 by mistake, and the doors opened. The hallway was spotless, fresh paint, warm light. I thought maybe the renovations were done early. At the end of the hall was a door marked 3B. Something about it felt wrong. The air was still, heavy like the air hadn't been breathed in years. I knocked. No answer. So I turned the knob. It opened. Inside was a fully furnished apartment. Coffee cups still steaming, TV playing static, clock frozen at 11:11. And in the mirror across the room, I saw myself, but my reflection smiled, while I didn't. I blinked. The lights went out. When they came back on, the room was empty, dusty, decayed, abandoned. The next morning, I asked the landlord, "What happened to room 3B?" He frowned. "There's no room 3B here." Never was. Story 5. The last bus home. It was past midnight when I got on the last bus leaving the city. Only 5 passengers. An old man, 2 women, a teenager, and me. Everyone was silent. The bus moved through fog so thick it looked like smoke. Streetlights faded behind us. Then, one by one, the passengers started getting off. But there were no bus stops, no houses, just darkness. When the last woman stood up, she leaned close and whispered, "Don't get off until the driver tells you to." Then she stepped into the fog and vanished. I looked up front. The driver's seat was empty. The bus kept moving. Panicking, I pressed the stop button. Nothing happened. Then a voice came over the intercom. "Next stop, home." Next. The doors opened. Cold wind rushed in. I saw faint lights in the distance, rows of flickering candles. A cemetery. When I turned around, the bus was empty. Only my reflection in the window remained, and it was smiling.